What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. Today we're going to make another entry into the Spearfishing for Beginners playlist, where I go over everything I wish I knew when I first started spearfishing, so hopefully you find it helpful. Today we're going to go over choosing your first spear gun, or some ideas or concepts to help you narrow down choosing your first spear gun. I'm not going to tell you exactly which gun you need, because we all dive in such different environments and have different targets. There are a million guns out there and a ton of options. So in today's video, what can you expect to learn? Some thoughts and ideas to help you narrow down your first gun. We're going to go over if I had to choose one gun. The most popular question I get is people always email asking me, Aaron, if you had to choose one gun, what would it be? Unfortunately, there's not a do-it-all gun, but there is a gun that I reach for more than others. We're going to also go over a couple of brands that I like and that I have personally shot in the past. I'm not the type of person to blindly recommend brands, so I'll list a couple of brands that I've personally shot, and on the up next screen, if you want to dig a little deeper and help yourself narrow it down to what gun you're going to look at, I'm going to go over my personal guns. I have 4 of them. My personal guns, when I shoot them, and why. So let's dive in. What are some ways you can help narrow down, trying to find your first gun? The most I'd say productive and fastest way to do this is to consult a dive shop or a manufacturer. If you're in the South Florida area and the Florida Keys, a couple of dive shops I go through and I know personally, Formula Freediving and Marathon. You got Florida Freedivers on the East Coast, a little ways up, and then Neptonics on the West Coast. They all have online shops you can go through there as well. Or if you have a specific manufacturer you've already picked out, give them a call, shoot them an email. If the dive shop or the manufacturer can't take the information you're going to give them, what I would do is give them your environment, what you're going to be hunting, target depth, visibility. If they can't give you some recommendations on guns, I probably wouldn't go through them. So that's going to be the easiest way, is to seek advice from some professionals that do it full time, and they'll hopefully be able to help you narrow it down that way. If you want to do the research on your own, if you want to sit down and go through them all and make the choice yourself, I suggest getting a piece of paper and writing some of these things down. And the first one that we'll start with is budget. What is your budget? What are you willing to spend? Nowadays, spear guns go anywhere from a couple $100s to thousands of dollars. I've seen some guns that are $1,500, $1,800. Choose your budget. What is your budget going to be? That'll be the biggest determining factor. That'll really weed out some brands as well as some certain features of certain guns. Another thing to consider is environment. What is your average visibility going to be? Your average depth going to be? That'll tell you whether you're going to need a small gun or a big gun. It'll also help you with accessories. Are you going to need a reel or a float line? Stuff like that. Something else that you consider is your targets. What are you going to be targeting? Are you going to be shooting 12-inch mangrove snapper and sheep's head? You're going to need a small gun. You're not going to need a huge gun with 3 or 4 bands. If you're shooting, African pompano and jacks on the reefs and wrecks, you're going to need a little mid-range gun with 2 bands, 3 bands, a little more power. If you're going to be shooting wahoo, dogtooth tuna, yellowfin, you're going to need a really big gun with a lot of power. So target is another big thing. Something else that a lot of people don't consider is chest loading or hip loading. Are you able to chest load a gun? Do you need to hip load a gun? That's something that the manufacturer should be able to tell you. If you're not familiar with chest loading and hip loading, that's another video in the Spearfishing for Beginners playlist. And then one more thing to consider is this going to be your last gun? If you're going to buy a cheaper gun and upgrade, that's fine. You can sell it later and slowly upgrade. If you want to buy once, I suggest saving up and buying quality. For the most part, just like anything, when it comes to spear guns, you get what you pay for the most part. So if you spend a little more, you're going to have a gun that's going to last a little bit longer. So those are some things to consider. Write those down. That'll hopefully help you narrow down your process, or your shopping process. Now, the question I always get, Aaron, if you had to choose one gun, what would it be? I forgot to go over brands, but we'll go over that after this. If I had to choose one gun, this is what I would choose. It's called the Banana Gun 2.0. We actually have this on the website. It is a remake of my favorite reef gun I ever made when I was younger. I used to make guns years and years ago. I don't anymore. I do have 4 guns that I personally shoot on the website, keywestwaterman.com. If someone calls me, one of my buddies says, Aaron, we're going spearfishing today, and they won't tell me what we're going to be doing, this is the gun I'm going to reach for. This is the Banana Gun 2.0. Don't ask me why it's called that. It's a long story. This is a 52-inch, what we call a rear handle plus. It's not a full mid handle. It's a rear handle plus. The trigger's back here, handle's up here, gives you a little better tracking. It has a reel and it has 2 bands. The reason why I would choose this gun, if I'm in the shallows, a little murkier water, the handle's far enough forward, I can go down to 1 band, and I can still hunt relatively murky water. Now on the reef, this thing's going to fit right in on the reef. 2 bands. I shoot pretty much everything with this gun. Now, by chance I wanted to go blue water, we did add a slot for an optional third band, so I could do a double wrap and shoot some blue water. It's not made for blue water, but it could shoot blue water. So if I had to choose one gun, this is what it would be. Banana Gun 2.0, 52 inches. Some brands that I like, I am partial to Koa. That's all we sell on the website. Very good friend of mine, John, manufactures all the guns that I offer. They are his guns. They're just built to my spec, so they're like my featured guns, so to speak. But I'm partial to Koa. Couple of other guns that I've shot that I actually like. If you're into rail guns or pipe guns, I like wood. I think they're functional pieces of art. I built guns years ago, just for myself. I didn't sell them. But if you're into rail guns or pipe guns, red tide spearfishing, my buddy GR Tar makes really nice guns. I actually spent some time on the West Coast shooting mangroves and gags with him, and it was a great time. He makes a good gun. Another gun that I've shot a few years back was an Ulu Sub. Really nice gun, another wood gun. Love those. And I believe they're local to the Keys kill shot spear guns. I've actually shot a few of those in my time, and I hit everything I shot at. So those are a few more brands to shop. I'm not going to blindly recommend brands that I've never personally put my hands on. That's just not my style. But that is all I've got for this one. Hopefully this helps you narrow it down. If you are looking to dig a little deeper, on the up next screen, I'm gonna have a video going over my 4 personal spear guns. They're all on the website if you did want to purchase one, but I'll go over them when I shoot them and why. So hopefully that'll help you out. Any questions, leave them in the comments. If you've got something that is not on the playlist that you would like seen on the Spearfishing for Beginners playlist, leave a comment and I will do my very best to get to it. That is all I have. I will see you on the next one. Later.